Going on, Sean? Sean, give me a. Let me know everybody can hear me and everything. Mike, Walter. All right, good deal. I did not do a free play video today because I had a refrigerator. Well, a refrigerator and a dishwasher being delivered today and installed. And the dishwasher showed up like 4 hours before the other one. So we got in, did that, and then the fridge showed up. And the weather's absolutely terrible outside. And the person calls me, and like I'm looking out my upstairs window at the truck, and they're like, "We can't get in your driveway." And I'm like, "Why?" The truck a few hours ago got in my driveway, just fine, same size truck, everything. So anyway, they're like, "Yeah, we can't because then we'd have to pull into because we have a like in the middle of the road. There's like a median with grass and oak trees and sprinklers and all that stuff." And they're like, "We can't turn into there." I said, "Well, that's fine. Just leave the truck right there." He's like, "Well, we can't block the road." I was like, "Well, I'm the president of the HOA, so I'll come block the road, make sure everyone uses the other entrance." Started doing that, and the dude made excuse after excuse as to why he could not unload it. So, needless to say, the refrigerator did not get delivered, and they said they would have to come back when it's not raining. So, they're going to come back next week. So, that not only backed my day up 2 hours, it royally pissed my wife off. But anyway, being that I did not get to do a free play video, we'll get one done on here. So a recap of yesterday. Nice winner on Charlotte, on Charleston Southern, on Richmond. We pushed on Murray State. Gonzaga had the opportunity to beat a team by over 50 points yesterday, and they decided to not play for basically all of the second half of the first half. Didn't play for the first half of the second half, and then they turned it wide open and went from a 4-point lead to a 20-point lead in a matter of about 4 minutes. But of course, when you wait till the very end of the game to do it, you can't really expect to cover a 23-point spread. It'll be all right. It's already paid for. I mean, that's just what you get when you buy from a Lowe's or a Home Depot or whatever. Not much I can do about it. I mean, I couldn't go take it off the truck myself. So, it's not like our refrigerator's broken. It's just a new one. So, it was just inconvenience more than anything. It's not like we had to have it. I'm really surprised. You know what's weird when you watch something? So we've made the comments before, like how the consultants that go in for these sports books and actually create the lines. I mean, I know how they get their numbers. It's all math, and they come up with their numbers. But it's like going yesterday, Oregon, Colorado. Colorado is not the caliber of team that Oregon is. Not by a long shot. I'm sorry. I mean, everybody can believe that Colorado could make a run in the Pac-12 this year and win it. That they can't. They don't have the size. They don't have the speed. They don't have the talent. I mean, I've got Oregon ranked number 9 overall in my system. Colorado's back at number 35. So there's no doubt that Oregon's the better team. But it's like when somebody talks about a game being rigged, it's like you can use math all you want. But it's like Bill said last night when he was commentating the game. And you heard him on TV saying the team can't make a shot from the three-point range, and this is a team that is not only the 5th best offensive team in basketball, but the 2nd or the 3rd best team overall at three-pointers, and the number 1 road team in the country as far as shooting three-pointers is Oregon. And it's like they just miraculously knew that yesterday they weren't going to get anything to fall for them. I don't know. It just seems kind of weird. No math is going to be able to tell you when a team's going to have an off night. That's all I'm going to say about that. So let's do this live show. I'm going to make it quicker than I normally do. Because I have a few more practice reports to read. I've got my card all but done. 2 games left to go over that I was waiting on stuff for. That stuff will come through inevitably while we're live. So as soon as I get done, I'll read those, make my final decisions, get the plays out, get the bets out, everything. And we'll be done for the day. I did have a meeting this morning. We're closing the books for 2019 today, so I had to meet with my accountants. Get them the final numbers, go over it, make sure everything added up. And so tonight, when I call it a day, we will officially be closing the books on 2019 and starting 2020. That's why I sent everyone the email last night about any type of discounts or anything. You better get them now because you won't get anything else until April. All right, All right, we got 10 likes. We got 31 people in here, so we need 21 likes, like ASAP. Let's go ahead and get it up. If you guys want just a normal free play or you want a premium play, you know the rules. Got to have at least 50 likes to get a free premium play. So everybody that has not hit the like button, make sure you do so. And once we hit 50, we will give out something off of my card. Something that I've already bet. There we go. That's what I like to see. 9 likes, just like that. See how easy that is? And I know we've got some new people in here today because I've started doing Instagram again, which I was really lazy about that at the end of last year. I started Instagram back in like August or September, doing it for the business. And every time I would go on Twitter, I would just pull up Instagram and make a little post there for like reviews, free plays, yada, yada, yada. Got really lazy about it, forgot about it a lot of the time. So we're going to have a lot of new people show up today. So for anybody that doesn't know, on YouTube, if you are not subscribed, subscribe. If you subscribe, you are automatically entered to win a 1-year all-access pass absolutely free. That's $4,000 that you would get for no charge whatsoever. And once we get to 4,000 subscribes, which we're about 1,000 away, we'll be giving that away. If you get 5 or more people to sign up. So you have 5 buddies that you know that are not subscribed that would like to get the free plays every day. Have them subscribe. Send me the list of their usernames along with who you are via email, and you will get 5 additional entries in your name for the contest. And every 5 that you have, you get an additional 5. So get 20 people to sign up. Now you've got 20 entries plus your entry. So you'll have 21 entries into the contest. And even if you're on a 1-year all-access pass, you can still win it, and it'll just extend you for another year. When yours ends, you'll have another year starting, or you can choose to give it away to somebody. That's up to you. But we already have 3,000 subscribers, or right there at it. So if every one of the people got one person to sign up, we could have 6,000 subscribers in a day. I wanted to release a really big hockey play tonight, but I got to look at something. I just got another 1-year customer. Welcome aboard. I'm not going to say his last name. You may not like that, but welcome aboard, Steve. He was on the fence about getting a 1-year all-access pass. He did so today. So congrats, Steve, for becoming a long-term member of the family. He's been with me before. He's excited to be on long-term now. Okay, so does anybody have any questions? Because we still got to get a few more likes up there, but let's talk about the NFL for tomorrow. So I know that a lot of people were asking me yesterday about the NFL, but I told everybody we were going to wait till today to do kind of like a preview and a breakdown. What is everybody's first initial thoughts on the NFL games that we've got for tomorrow? Any certain things about either one of the games that you guys want to talk about? Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Travis, the price on the 1-year all-access pass is $4,000. If you bought everything separately, like everything that it comes with, you would spend just over $19,000 for a year. We sell it for $4,000. That's what it's at on the website. I think you bought from me before. So Travis Mater, send me an email, chase@chasewins.com, and we will discuss that there. I don't text or email plays. You get an email every day letting you know that the plays are posted and ready, but you just, everything's done through the site. So every day you just log in to your account, you click your package, and boom, the plays are right there. They are right there with the times they start, the sports they're in, the spread, how I rate the game, everything. Walter, the only time that I've done that is when I have like a big play, like a play of the week, month, or year. I go ahead and bet the game. I just don't bet my full amount if I have a feeling that I'm going to get like a point better odds or even more as soon as the game starts. Because a lot of times, like when we had this year, we had a play of the week on Indiana. Indiana always starts a game down. Like usually they give up 10 points like that and then they come back. So with 5 dimes, if I decide that I'm going to bet that game through 5 dimes, which usually a big game like that I do through William Hill because they won't limit me, then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll make an initial bet, and then I'll wait until the game starts. They'll go down 5 or 6 points real fast, and then I'll hammer the rest of it live just to get a little bit better odds. But I don't do that a lot, Walter. Like, I've got everything set up. Usually my wagers are all made and done before any game starts. And then I leave it be. I don't do live betting. I don't sit there and try to do all that. I'm confident in the picks that I make, and if they lose, they lose. But I'm not going to sit there and try to live bet to hedge stuff or anything like that. But Travis, to answer your question, no, I do not email plays. I also do not text plays. I just have too many clients to do that for. And to be honest with you, it's not efficient, because if I start doing that, then certain people are on different packages, stuff like that. I mean, it could take me a couple of hours to do that, and then whoever gets texted last is the one waiting around. So I post the plays. As soon as they're posted, an auto-generated email gets sent out to everyone letting them know, hey, the plays are ready. You can log in at any time. And the reason that I send that email out is because otherwise you'd end up logging in multiple times throughout the day or in the morning, seeing if they're posted. And if they're not, you're just sitting there waiting, okay, when are they going to be posted? And it's different for different days depending on what time games start, what sport it's in, so on and so forth. So every day all you would have to do is wait for that email to come through. As soon as you get the email, log in, there's all your games, bet them, and wait till the next day. You would not have to log in again. Unless it's one of the rare days where I post early games and then come back and post later games. But in the first initial email that I send, if that's going to be done, I'll let you know. All right, so let's see what we've got here. How do you feel about Tannehill? 10. Your hat is a sign. Bills upset, I predict. Curious to see how the Pats can do against Henry. Tommy, that all depends on the last few practice reports I read. Right now I've got 3. No problem, Travis. Like I said, if you want to shoot me an email, we can discuss that further. That way I can kind of give you my undivided attention. And then as soon as I get done with this, if you want to go ahead and send me an email, then as soon as I finish up here, I'll respond to you. We'll go over some stuff, and if it's something that you want to do, I'll give you instructions as to how to get it. Deuce says Tom Brady all day. In order to be the champs, you got to beat the champs. Here's the thing, guys. Here's how many games are on your daily package. It's different every day. It's different every day. I mean, this time of year, there's a decent amount because you're talking about having college basketball, NBA, NHL, as well as right now we still have some college football action going on. Like today, we didn't have a play in college football. But the other day we had 4. The day before that we had 2 in college football. And then obviously we've still got the NFL going on through the Super Bowl. And now we get into just baseball and that's the only thing going on, then I'm a pretty high volume baseball player. But at the rate that I win, you'll be happy when you're getting that many baseball plays. Toby, you would think that it will, but on a game like that, you just kind of have to see if there's any reverse line movement. You know, it really just depends, man. When you get into playoff football, the books are going to do every single thing they can to moderate every bet to ensure that they try to have as close to as even money on either side of the ball as they can. It's not always going to happen, but they have ways of persuading people to bet one way versus the other, and sometimes that's doing reverse line movement just to make people assume something. What's up, Keith? I'm going to do a video. The thing is, it's really simple how to bet NASCAR. You're going to bet it as you would any other sport. What I'll do in that video, and there is a video out there from last year that goes into some detail about how to bet it, but I want to get further into detail from the actual wagering standpoint of it because Patrick's going to have a lot of people on his NASCAR package this year. He's already got a lot that signed up early. Once it starts, the floodgates will open for him. So I want his customers to know what to do, but it's very simple and it's not going to change week to week. So it'll be something that you just have to be diligent with. You're going to have those rare weeks with him that you're going to lose some money, but then 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row where you're making money and it's good money. Everything's at plus money except for the head-to-heads. You may have some, have to lay some juice there, but they don't lose very often. He released 26 top plays last year in NASCAR on head-to-head bets, and he won 21 of them. I don't care who you are or what you're laying. That's impressive. Keith, I'm certainly not going to complain about college hoops. Our numbers for the year are outstanding. So I would rather have a few days where we bag some pushes, like with Murray State last night, than go out there and get absolutely creamed like we did the other day. One day in the past week, we got rocked on college hoops. But then again, the day before that was great. So that was what was crazy. And then like last night, everything was going good. Wins on Charleston Southern, wins on Richmond, wins on Charlotte. And then Murray State pushes. Had Murray State had another basket or not let that late basket go through, then college hoops would have been outstanding again yesterday. I'll take that all day long versus, taking a losing day after, a big winning day or something. But for the year, that there's going to be bumps in the road. But for what we've done this year, in all sports really, but especially the sports we're doing now, I won't dare complain about a few bad days. Those are first world problems. That coffee tastes funny. All right, so everybody wants to talk about the Patriots and the Bills. I guess let's start with the elephant in the room, which is the Patriots. Are the Patriots in a slump? Yes, absolutely they are. Is Tom Brady in a slump? Yes, he is. His slump is not, his personal slump is not as big as people are making it out to be. When you watch ESPN or Fox NFL Sunday, you just all you hear about is it's the end of an era. It's the end of the Patriots run. It's the end of a dynasty. Tom Brady's too old. Tom Brady's this. Tom Brady's that. The problem with that is that's not entirely true. Because Tom Brady, his slump is 80% to do with the fact that he has zero weapons. The only person that could truly be considered a weapon for him is Edelman. And the problem is Edelman doesn't play a position that you would consider a weapon. He needs receivers. And the problem is you can put a talented receiver downfield. Tom Brady's not the person, never has been the person to say, all right, we're putting a talented guy downfield. I all of a sudden just trust him. I'm going to start slinging him the ball. No. You're going to earn Tom Brady's trust. He's going to know that you're going to go to bat for him like he's going to go to bat for you, and that he can trust you to make the big plays in big situations, in double coverage. I mean, the fact that he has no weapons and we're still looking at a team that's won what they have in situations that they have, injury riddled on offense to say the very least. Defensively, they had 3 weeks or 4 weeks where they really took a hit injury wise on defense. And let's face it, they're still about, we'll go ahead and call them one of the top 3 defenses. If I call them the best defense in the league, somebody's going to want to shoot me. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're the best defense in the NFL. Sorry. Best offense in the NFL right now, we'll give it to Baltimore, but the most well-rounded offense, I think, is New Orleans. And I said that going into the season on a live show that I thought New Orleans was the most complete team in the NFL and had the best shot outside of New England to win it all. Because, again, it's kind of like, you can take things away from New England. You can take everything you want away from them, but when you leave 2 key pieces there, I don't care what day it is, what kind of team you are, how bad they're struggling, they're tough to beat. And those 2 pieces are Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And guess what? They're taking the field. Last year, they played a game, they had a little slump, and everybody kept saying the same thing that they're saying this year. It was the same talk. It was the same, hey, it's the end of an era, it's the end of a dynasty, it's this, it's that, it's this. And what happened? Tom Brady came back, and they won a fucking championship. And they did it against a talented Rams team. Granted, they should have been playing New Orleans. But, again, that's nor here nor there. The fact of the matter is, the dynasty was over last year, according to everybody. And what'd they do? Not only did they make the postseason, they won another ring. They can do it again this year. Now, granted, they don't have Gronk. Granted, they don't have the weapons that they did. There's a lot of speculation around this team, or Spygate, where their offensive coordinator, where their offensive coach may be next year. Is this Belichick's last year? Is this Brady's last year? Do they have anything left? Guys, I'm telling you right now, the team to beat is the Patriots. It's not the Ravens. It's not the Saints. It's not the Packers. Those are not the teams to beat, because none of those teams last year won anything. They all went home. They all went home while Brady, Belichick, and Gronk went out there and added more jewelry to the jewelry box. And even though they faced some tough losses this year, Miami being the most recent one, until somebody beats the Patriots in a game that really matters, a game that takes them out of it, they are the team to beat and will be the team to beat. So if they go out Saturday, yes, Travis, I did. I'd made two futures bets, one being the Patriots, one being the New Orleans Saints. Everybody was out there putting money on Cleveland and Kansas City and all that stuff. I put money on the Patriots, and then I made a secondary bet on the New Orleans Saints. And I put $100 on the Cincinnati Bengals for shits and giggles just to do it. Just in the off chance a miracle happened. But anyway, guys, if they get beat tomorrow, then we can start talking about the end of an era, the end of a dynasty, the end of what inevitably has been the greatest career in sports. Well, second greatest career besides Michael Jordan. But guess what's going to happen? All these people in the media that are running their mouth about Brady especially, they're not saying a lot about Belichick because they know that Belichick, I mean, he could coach 10 more years. That's not really going to affect him. I mean, he's not out there getting, tackled by a 350-pound defensive lineman. If they lose tomorrow, then yes, we can start speculating. We can start talking. We can start seeing what Brady's decision will be. Will he retire? Will he try to go play another year or two with another team out west, like San Diego? Who knows? Or does he come back to the Patriots, and do it on one-year terms and say, hey, let's go out there. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can build. I think we've got one more left. We'll have to see. But I tell you this, these Max Kellermans of the world, these Shannon Sharps, all of these people that really... Shannon Sharp knows what he's talking about. He's just an idiot. But let's talk about Max Kellerman, somebody that came from boxing, and now he's on one of the biggest sports talk shows there is. He needs to be castrated in public. He's a fucking moron. But guess what? He's also he has the biggest knee pads at ESPN. He talks crap about Brady all year. He thinks he has a reason to do so. He's wrong in just about everything he says. But he'll be the first person that if the Patriots win tomorrow to be going, here it is, the Brady and Belichick dynasty is getting ready to do it again. And he will be jerking them off so hard he will get carpal tunnel. That's how the media is. They go week to week. They will talk about it all week when there's nothing being done at the present time to make them right or wrong. But after the game happens, inevitably, they'll change just like that. I don't change anything I say. If I make a prediction weeks ahead of time and I end up being wrong, I'm just wrong, and I leave it at that. I don't come back and go, well, no, I wasn't completely wrong. No. Guys, the Patriots are the better team than the Bills. Are they a more complete team this year? No, not necessarily. But defensively, that's where the Bills shine. The Patriots are better defensively, in my opinion. Offensively, neither team shines good. The Patriots are without key weapons, but they still have two things that the Bills don't have. They have Tom Brady, and they have Edelman, which are two people that could single-handedly score enough points to beat the Bills on any given day. And guess what else you have? You have Bill Belichick creating plays and going to create opportunities to make this game look like it never should have happened. That's what I think is going to happen. I like the Patriots tomorrow. I really do. If they lose, they lose. And if they lose, then we start talking about could this be the end of an era. But until somebody beats them in a situation where it's like, okay, no more Patriots this year, I don't want to hear about this is the end of anything because right now nothing's ended. Every week I heard that. And guess what? Most of those weeks the Patriots went out there severely beat up and shorthanded, and they still won. And then, of course, you hear people say, oh, they got an easy schedule. Well, Jesus Christ in heaven, look who's playing for a national championship in college football. Let's not talk about easy schedules. Half of the league overall in the NFL was down this year. Even teams with immense talent were down. Look at Cleveland. Everybody thought that was a contender. Ooh, what a shit show that was for 16 weeks. So there's my opinion on that. I haven't put any money on it yet. I'm going to place some money on it. And right now, I'm looking for a reason not to back the Patriots. But I haven't found it yet. Right now, my money's with the proven winners. And they have the stats to back it up. The Bills don't. Now, if it was different, if they were playing a team like New Orleans, somebody like that, maybe Dallas, Philly, somebody that's proven a little bit more than Buffalo having a good defense and have just by the skin of their teeth skated by on offense, then, and I keep saying the Bills. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. I keep saying the Bills because I wanted to talk about the Bills game next. Oh, he just said Patriots playing Bills tomorrow. I thought they have Titans on it. You know what I mean. We got to talk about that game next. Bills, Bill Belichick. You know what I'm talking about. Because that would have made no sense of what I just said about their offense skating by the skin of their teeth. No, I'm aware of who they're playing. That's why that when I just said the Bills, it would have made no sense for what I just said, because the Bills' offense has done well this year. I don't think they're... I certainly don't think by any means that the Bills are an offensive powerhouse. But that's a complete offense this year, which is... The Bills for the past 5-6 years have had a good defense. The Titans this year, their defense has kept them in it. Their offense, they've done just enough against good teams to stay in it, and against bad teams, I gotta credit their coaching for that. But you're not gonna tell me that coaching staff's gonna outdo Belichick and his army. Now we need to talk about the Bills. Because somebody asked me about the Bills yesterday, and I don't even remember what the question was. And does anyone else agree with what the Titans have done at quarterback for the season? Or am I the only one that thinks that was a good decision? Because it seems like Titans fans were like, oh, fuck this, this is stupid. And now they're starting to come around to the idea of, well, maybe the coaching staff knows just a little bit more about that team than the average fan does. Cali Niner says Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl. You know what, Cali Niner? That would actually be, out of every team that has a chance, I believe that would be the most interesting matchup. Truth be told. I think that's two teams that mimic each other's style of play, style of coaching. The quarterback play, I think, is very similar. I think that would be an interesting matchup. Do I think that that's what's going to happen? No, not necessarily. But if it did happen, I think from a fan's perspective of just a good football game, I think that would be the most interesting matchup. So that's my, again, I don't want to take anything away from the Titans. I don't want to say that they haven't earned their spot, because they have. But I think that situationally it's really, really helped them. They've had weeks where they've really, really gotten bad teams at the right time. And to be honest with you, had they not made the move at QB, I don't think they would have capitalized on those situations. I think that's what kept them in it. So, again, we have to say that they earned it. Their coaching staff was smart enough to make that decision, stick to it, and now look at them. Because had they not done it, then I don't think that the Titans would be sitting here. I think we would have sent the Titans packing a few weeks ago. Keith, absolutely he did. Now, here's the thing. Okay, does anybody else think that I'm crazy for saying that if you look at Tannehill, Mariota, and you compare them as quarterbacks for the system that the Titans have run the last few years, I truthfully believe that overall Mariota is the more talented QB. He just cannot. It's like he'll get the system figured out and he makes Jameis Winston type mistakes. That's the thing. Jameis Winston made the dumbest and the most accurate statement that a human being's ever made the other day in a press conference, where he says, I've got to get better on interceptions. If you look at my numbers and you take those out of the equation, I'm balling and I'm the best. He's not lying. Now, granted, you can't really say, oh, if you take that out of the equation, well, that is the equation. I mean, no one else is making you throw an interception. You're doing it. But I'm going to be honest with you. Outside of interceptions, Jameis is balling. And anybody can dislike the guy for what he did in college. Anybody can dislike the fact that he's very sure of himself. And the fact that right now he's just not winning. It's a hell of an athlete. And I think that if they get a coaching staff in Tampa Bay that can truthfully create a system designed around Jameis Winston, I think you could be looking at a Super Bowl quarterback. The kid's just good. He is. I'm sorry. He was good in college. He single-handedly took Florida State to a championship. And hell, he did it in one half of football. I mean, there were multiple games where he set out the first half. Yeah, Keith, that's what I'm saying. Like, Marcus, I think, is a more talented individual, but you've got to be sure of what you're doing and execute it, whether it works or doesn't work. It's like you look at Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees. They come out there and start running a game plan, and they let the ball, they air it out, even if it costs them a pick six, a fourth down, whatever. They don't go take the bench and come out the next drive trying to change something. They do the exact same thing. Win, lose, or draw, they run their game plan. That's what Mariota cannot do. Tannehill had nothing to prove to anyone. He was just going to be kind of like what Ryan Fitzpatrick is every 5 years. He comes out. It's lay it out all out on the line. Nobody's expecting anything from me. He has a great year, and then he gets picked up by another team, and he does nothing. So he gets put on the bench. He sits there for a few years, an injury happens. He goes out there with no expectations of anything, and he lets it go. He wins some games. He takes the team from a non-contender to a potential playoff team, and then, boom. He's being picked up by another team. That dude's got the best job in the NFL. He plays for 1 year, then gets to sit for 4. And then he comes out and does it again. What's up, Mark? All right, what's on deck next? What do we want to talk about next? What game? We're only at 35 likes, guys. We need 15 more. We'll do a free premium play. And I'm going to have to roll out of here in about 20 minutes or so. There's 60-something people in here right now. We only need 15 likes. Let's get it rolling. Keith, run the chat for a second. I'm going to Baltimore Saints Super Bowl. Is that a statement that you're making, or are you wanting me to talk about the possibilities or what would happen if they played? Or ooh, we're 10 likes away, guys. Keith, run the chat for a minute. While we're waiting on these last 7 or 8 likes to come through, I'm going to go refill this cup. And then when I come back, we'll do a free play. And then we'll do a couple of more breakdowns until I have to go and get these plays out. So, I got mine in. All right, Keith, run it. I'll be back. All right, sweet. All right. Music lyrics. Are you saying that I owe you a free premium NBA play? Because I did not give the Pacers yesterday. I said I liked the Pacers. I gave the under. It didn't hit. But in that same video, I also gave a live dog that won. The 5 free plays before that were all winners. The NBA card's really not all that great today. Let's look. I've got one locked in. We're at 50 likes, so we're going to do one. Let's see. Let me pull up an injury report real quick. Because I've got one that I was getting ready to lock in for the card. I hope you don't need life-saving after a free play loss. Haha. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you two that I want you to look at. The first one, I haven't locked in yet. I want to dig a little farther into it. But I like the Celtics tonight. But here's what scares me about it. I don't like the fact that Trae Young is coming back. Now, here's the thing. Trae Young can score 28 points a game. I don't care about that. He's their leading scorer, really their only true scorer. I mean, Boston's top scorer averages 24 points a game, so it's really not that big of a deal. If you take Trae Young out of the mix, this line would probably be sitting 13.5, 14 easy. I think the line's accurate. I really, really do. It's sitting at 10.5 right now. If you can get it at 10, great. I'm going to take a chance with Boston tonight, even though Trae Young's back. If it were being played in Atlanta, I may take a chance with the Hawks just based on speed. This is going to come down to whether or not Boston can slow Atlanta down. Just because Atlanta's going to push the pace does not mean that they're going to score more points. Trae Young's going to do his thing. He's going to score points. He's going to be their player. That's not what I'm worried about. But if Boston has to play keep up with them speed-wise, then all that does is hurt Boston in the later minutes from going out there and pulling away. If they can slow Atlanta down just ever so slightly, speed-wise, I say Boston wins this game by 15. Easy. If they can't, I still think that they're covering going into the later minutes, but that's where they just slow it down. They try to burn time, and Atlanta could potentially keep this one in single digits. If Trae Young was out, I wouldn't think that way, especially being that it's played in the Garden. But even with Trae Young playing, even with his return, even if he scores his season average, which is like 28.6 points a game, Boston's the far superior team. Boston can and most certainly has beaten them by a lot worse. I just truly believe that this line is I say accurate. I think it's accurate based on Walker and Young. Otherwise, this line would be the softest NBA line I've seen all year. But I've got to take a chance with them. That's why you don't bet the house, Kimball. Yeah, I know Kimball. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. The Young being in, Walker being out are the only two things that are making this particular line accurate. Otherwise, it would be beyond soft. But the thing is, Boston's a complete team. They have people that can come off of the bench. They have the ability to slow Atlanta down. They have done so in their dominance over them. There's always that wonder if they will. Will they push the pace? So that's why when Walker's out for a team like Boston, I don't worry and go, oh, well, Boston, it's not like when Trae Young goes down for Atlanta or if Jimmy Butler went out for Atlanta or Miami. It's not as big of a deal. Yes, Walker's averaging 22.5 points a game. But they have people that can make it. They don't have one guy that's going to make up the difference. But they have a complete team that will make up for his absence. That's why this has not been rated a premium play yet, because of that and Young being out or being in. But I'm going to take a shot with Boston because of those two things, I'm still showing Boston minus 13 is the 100% true accurate line. But again, my lines usually vary from what the actual lines are. So that's one I want you to look at. But that's not a premium play. Hold on. Let me look at one thing here. Give me 1 second. Let me look at one other thing. Otherwise, we're going to shift over to college basketball. That's where I'm going to give you the big play. All right, we're going to go to college basketball, but I'm going to give you another NBA play I want you to look at. And people may think I'm crazy for this one. Let's see what I'm missing. Davin, I don't know. Is that what you're hearing? Maybe. Still here. You certainly didn't hear that from me. I'm not going to confirm or deny it, but I'm still here. And if you heard it from them, that's fine. I don't know why someone would make a lawsuit and then talk to someone about it. The dog that I like in the NBA tonight, I like the Magic at home. Now, here's the thing. They're only getting 1.5 points. I would rather than take that 1.5 points with Orlando at home. I would rather lay the money line with Orlando and just lay $1.05. That's what I would rather do. I think that situationally, this is a good spot for Orlando. Yeah. I can assure you that I won't confirm or deny anything, but I will deny that. Because I can assure you that that is false. I can tell you this, if I ever sued someone, I wouldn't be talking to anyone about it other than my lawyer. Certainly not customers or viewers or anything like that. I'm not going to say anything. I wish those guys all the best. I really do. And I'm not saying that to be a smartass. I really, truly wish them all the best. I wish them all the best. Wish them all the success in everything that they do. Outside of this industry, in their personal lives, everything. So let's get off that subject. Alright, let's switch over to this. Matt, we just talked about the Boston Celtics Atlanta Hawks game. I told people that I was taking a chance with Boston. The fact that Kemba Walker is not looking promising for tonight. Trae Young is back. I think the line's accurate. There's not a true edge in the game, but Scott. I've just got to wait and see how everything pans out for tomorrow. If there is one, that it will be tomorrow, and you will get an email letting you know. Chris, if you don't like it, brother, you're welcome to go watch somebody else's show. We've already done some. Now I'm giving away free plays. And then Matt gave away. I said told everybody that I like Orlando tonight as a home dog against the Heat. They're only catching 1.5, so I think if you are going to play that game, then I would think the better value would be on the money line with Orlando only laying $1.05 versus taking the measly 1.5. Because if Orlando's going to win this game, I mean they're going to win it. I don't think this game's going to be decided by a point. Or a point, not or 2 points. I think Miami goes in there, either takes care of business and shuts them down, or I think that situationally Orlando matches up really well for this tonight, and they can go in at home and win by 4 to 6 points. All right, bye bye. Okay, let's get into a premium. Let me check lines real quick just to make sure nothing's changed. Just give me 1 second, guys. how people come in here and think they're the only person here and that they run my thing. I didn't bring up the other topics, but when they're brought up, I addressed them just as I address every question that people ask. And somebody doesn't like it and they tell me, oh, do this, they're snoozing like it's boring, then leave. Okay, will do. Bye-bye. I won't be sleeping any differently tonight. All right, let's look at these lines. Just to see if something has changed. Because now that we're getting into the later hours, this is usually where we would see a bit of line movement, which I've expected today. I just want to see how much. I don't think it'll be crazy, but just in the off chance. There's 3 games that I liked above the rest that kind of stood out to me. All right, so we've got 1 line change there. Ho, ho, ho. And I tell y'all a game that I want you guys to be careful with is that Wright State game. Is Wright State the better team? Without question. Should they win the game? Without question. Should they cover? Yes, without question. That line's off. That line's off by at least 4 points. And there's no rhyme or reason to it whatsoever. So I'm telling you right now, be careful. I mean, at bare minimum, that line should have opened up at 7 in favor of Wright State. And that is taking the fact that they're a road team into consideration. So just be careful with that, guys. I had seen a couple of people bring that game up earlier. One person even said that they thought that it was the lock of the day. It should be. It absolutely should be. But I'm telling you right now, something's not right about that game. Something is very much off about it. And if I can find out why, I'd love to play that game. All right. Screw it. I know what I'm going to give you guys. At first, I was going to hold this one back, and I kept saying, no, I'm not going to do it. I was going to hold it, but you guys have been fun today. Just let me get an accurate line, make sure I give it to you correctly. And guys, just so you know, these lines that I'm giving you William Hill lines. So if you're using 5 dimes, you should be getting the exact same thing. There's an off chance you could be getting a half-point difference. Sometimes it's in your favor. If you are using something like Bovada, there's always the off chance that it could be different. That's not something that I can help. I don't go off Bovada's lines. I go off of real-time Vegas lines, and I use William Hill. I bet through William Hill. That's where my runners go, and so that's the lines that I use, being that they are usually the first initial opening lines in the industry. If there are changes, they're usually the first ones to have them. But tonight, a lot of people were wondering if Central Florida would be able to come in and upset Houston. Sure, they can. But I just think Houston outmatches them guard play. Defensively, I think they outmatch them. And one thing that I think is going to come into play tonight, and this would be different if we were talking about a neutral site game, because neutral site, Houston is less than impressive. I'll put it to you that way. At home, second chance shots, offensive rebounding, they are a top 10 team when it comes down to that. Central Florida, if you really want to talk about my personal rankings for Central Florida, I may have them backed up farther than, an ESPN or somebody like that do. But I don't even have UCF in my top 100. I don't have them in my top 100. I've actually got them at 102, as where I've got Houston at number 24 overall. No, excuse me, 27 overall in my rankings. So they're just outside the top 25. I think the line's accurate based on the way both teams have been playing. You've got UCF on somewhat of an uptick, where Houston has dropped 3 games this season, and they've really played other games way too close for comfort in games that should have been complete domination. But tonight, I think that because of that, you're seeing a soft line. And if Houston plays like the home team they have this year, I see this being a rout of what has been one of the more competitive teams that Houston has played this year. UCF is not a pushover by any means, but again, there's a very big difference in overall stats and talent when you're talking about these two teams. Again, if it were neutral site, we were talking about some tournament type play. My opinion may be very, very different than this one, but I think Houston takes advantage of the home court tonight, the home crowd, and I think that Houston takes care of business, and I think they do it by at least double digits. So take it while you can at 9.5, because I do see this game getting back to 10 or above. That is a premium play. I like Houston minus 9.5 over UCF tonight. No, Steven, there's no college football tonight. The only game was the 3 o'clock game. I took game at 12.5 and won it. I don't play first halves. I play whole games. I don't play first halves. I don't play first quarters. I don't play team totals. I'm an actual sports consultant, guys. I've said it 1,000 times. If you want somebody that's going to give you all that type of stuff, more prop bets than anything else, and I'm certainly not your guy. Toby, it's chasewins.com. Skip, they're not, and the thing about UCF is it's almost like a team that they remind me of is, well, there's a couple of teams they remind me of. One of them being Florida State. Florida State, even though I've got Florida State ranked in my top 25, Florida State is a team that the players haven't figured out the system yet. There's new things being implemented within that UCF squad. Houston 9.5, Irie. But they'll get there. They're a better team than some people would give them credit for overall. But right now, I think that people are writing off Houston just a bit because of the fact that they've played games a lot closer than they should have. But again, guys, just because you play a game close doesn't mean that you're not talented. Sometimes you just have days that are off a little bit. And I truly, truly believe that Houston is better than they're getting credit for. And I think we're seeing a team that will be in the tournament in March. Do I think they'll do anything within that tournament? No, I don't. But I think they'll be there. And with 353 Division I college football teams or basketball teams, I think that that's saying something. Making it to the tournament's not an easy task, especially for people outside of, a power conference like an ACC, a Big Ten, Pac-12, Big 12, stuff like that. Because they get overlooked. Even though Houston's not in some Mickey Mouse conference by any means. They're in a conference that has certainly, paved their way over the last decade. But, the American Conference is certainly not an ACC or a Big Ten or a Big 12. So, it's harder for them. Their losses hurt them more than losses between power teams or power conference teams, and their wins just don't seem to mean as much. So, trust me, and these freshmen that they've got, they're learning that, and it just takes time. You don't figure it out, on day one. I think that now, they're in a really good spot. Where? 9.5 at minus 125, that's insanity. Where are you getting that at? No, it's not high juice, but it's high juice on a when you're just playing against the spread in a basketball game, and you're not buying points. If you're having to buy a point or something or a half point, I get it, but otherwise, your book is not. Yeah, I can't really do anything about that. Some books are just going to charge you more juice, but I have to go off of what William Hill has. Minus 9.5 at minus $1.10 right now. You can get it at minus 9 for minus $1.20. 5 dimes, minus $1.15 at 9.5. I mean, I'm not telling you not to play it. All right, guys. I have got to get out of here. Plays will be posted within the next 30 to 35 minutes. If you were on a package, stand by for the email that you will get stating that they are ready. Otherwise, and you want to jump on a package, you have until about 7 p.m. to do so to ensure that you get to play all of the games tonight. Otherwise, you can sign up after that time, and today won't count, and you'll start your 3-day, 7-day, month, whatever you want tomorrow. Azteca TV says Red Wings money line. I'll tell you this. Is it a good bet? No. Because and again, Steven, that's another reason why I did not lock it in as a premium play. I've got to go off of the stats, and the stats say that 10.5 is certainly not out of the realm, even with Walker out and Young in. But there's just too many variables within that game for me to lock it in as a premium play. I'm playing it for 500, a little half-unit wager for some fun money, just like I'm doing with Orlando on the money line. And the other play that I'm looking at will probably be on the card. So And again, there's no day ever that the Red Wings are going to be a good bet. But I'll tell you this. The Red Wings only win games only against teams that they should get blown out by. They go out there and they play another team that obviously is not as bad as Detroit, but is a bottom level team. Those are the games they get blown out in. The games that they miraculously win are games that they should lose by 4 to 5 goals. It should be an absolute blowout. Those are the games they figure out a way to win. Scott, tell me if I'm wrong, because I know I'm not. But there is never, ever, ever, not this season, you're not going to find a stat against 90% of the teams to ever say Detroit is a good bet. But I'll tell you this. If you're looking for a game to throw some money on that has extremely high odds and just take a chance, that would be the one to do it with. Because, I mean, if you're throwing $100 on it, let's say, $200 on it, and it's really fun money, you really don't care win or lose. I mean, you want to win, but it's not going to change anything. It's not going to affect your bankroll. Something like that, then absolutely take it. Because those are, you win one, it can offset you betting 3 or 4 of them. But you're not going to find a stat or anything to tell you to take Detroit because they are that bad. And I don't see that changing this year. Matt, that's one that I'm looking at potentially for the card, so I'm going to lay off from saying anything. Scott knows. Me and Scott have had many talks about Detroit. We have also both made a ton of money off of fading Detroit this year. I don't know the physical numbers that he's made, but mine's well over 20K in just games fading Detroit. Because I've only lost 2. One of them was a top play. That one hurt, or it would be over 30. That's what they do. That's why what's funny is they call them sharps. Sharps just go in or sharps, I should say, just go in, find things with extremely high money line odds, plus 900, plus 1,000, something like that. They sprinkle some money across it, and then when they win one, they like to brag about it. Like, oh, we had this. Well, okay. Sharps aren't sharps. Because I'll tell you what, if you can cherry pick one and give it away for free, for instance, 2018 baseball season, the video is still on YouTube. You can go back and find it. I was driving down the road one day, didn't have time to stop and do a free play video, so I did one while driving down the road. It's about a 4-minute video, and it was involving the Dodgers and the Marlins. The Dodgers were minus 450 odds, something like that, and Clayton Kershaw was on the hill, and it was a bullpen day for Miami. The line got up to over minus 500. I told everybody for their free play to take Miami, mark the pitchers, fade Kershaw, and take Miami on the money line. And they won outright. That's picking a game. All right, guys, I got to jump. I got to get these plays out. So there's my leans for the day, as well as you guys know that I've already locked in Houston on minus 9.5 against University of Central Florida. If anybody has any questions, shoot me an email, chase@chasewins.com, and I will get back to those emails the second that I get plays posted. That way I can give you my undivided attention. So that is it for the day, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. We're going to try to go live again tomorrow. We'll just have to see what happens. Otherwise, I will see you back next week for a live show. Either way, I'll at least, at minimum, get a free play done tomorrow. Wanted to today, but I just didn't have the time to get a video done. But at least we got some free plays out. We got a recap done at the beginning of the video. And you can't say I never did anything for you. Scott, you asked me about that a few minutes ago, and I already answered that. I said that if there is one this week, it will be tomorrow, but I won't know until at least first thing in the morning. But if I have one, you'll get an email. The second that I have it, that way you can jump on it. Oh, Keith, I know, dude. All right, guys, I'm going to finish up these games and get them out. If you have any questions, let me know. And go subscribe. If you are not subscribed, then you're crazy. And if you subscribe, you're getting entered to win a 1-year all-access pass for free. Because once we hit 4,000 subscribers, I'm giving it away. Every time you get at least 5 people to sign up on your behalf, all you got to do is email me their usernames on YouTube, and you get 5 additional entries into the contest on your behalf. All right, guys, I'm out of here. See you back tomorrow.